Today we're finally getting back to our supercomputer project, gathering the final materials that we need to complete it. And of course, when I say more materials, I just mean oil. It's always oil. However, after today, we may never have to worry about oil again. Hello everyone, I'm Kibitz and welcome back to Satisfactory, where last time we added a huge new alclad aluminum sheet factory to our base, which provides us with 480 alclad sheets per minute, meaning we can completely switch over to Mark V belts. But more importantly, with that, we will finally be able to complete our supercomputer project. Because yeah, we kinda got a little derailed from that for quite some time. But since it's been so long, I'll do a quick recap. But essentially, all of my base here is being built for the supercomputer project. Main highlights being the beast here, which produces all of our crystal oscillators, which we combine with just circuit boards to make computers thanks to a very good alternate recipe. Then we have our AI limiter production lines. And then finally, the HSC Colossus, which makes our high-speed connectors. Or I'm sorry, what would be making our high-speed connectors? But guess what? We ran out of oil again, and we don't have the plastic. Big oof. However, once we do get more plastic, we'll get our high-speed connectors being made, and then we can pretty much finish off supercomputers. So we're just like that close. All we need is more oil. But luckily, I found just the place to get it. So while I was streaming and kind of contemplating life while walking across the beaches of our beautiful world here, I look out into the ocean and I see a piece of candy. But it's not candy. It's actually oil. And I was like, whoa, wait a second. There's oil on the beach? So I kept walking. Then there's more oil. And I kept walking. And there's more oil. And I just kept walking, and I kept finding more and more oil. And I just kept putting pumps down and adding on beacons to keep track of things, and guess how much oil I found in this area? Take a guess. JK, I'm gonna tell you. There is 3,450 oil per minute in this area, which is absolutely insane. 3,450. That is more than double all of the oil we have in the world so far. Now, 3,450 oil is a bit much. It's quite a hefty amount. And even our new train, which has 9 freight cars available, won't be able to handle all of that oil. That's just how much it is. So how then are we supposed to collect over 3,000 oil from all the way across the map if it won't fit in our existing train? Well, we're gonna kinda have to build another train, aren't we? So over some live streams during the last week, we built a new train station. In fact, our train infrastructure has changed up quite a bit, in fact. So this train, which is our first train, goes to stop 1 and stop 2, collecting all of the quartz right now. But then, this old train stop, or I guess our first train stop, will now be for oil. So all of the oil from across the map, way over on the beaches, will be ending up here now. And to do that, I've ran a whole new parallel train track right next to our existing one, which will only be for oil. So this is now like a one-stop rail track. This drops off the oil, goes and gets it, and then just comes back. That is it. And then we can use our other train to kind of collect whatever else we need, since oil shouldn't be a big problem for much longer. But yeah, quite a huge change having a new train stop way over here. And it's kind of a weird position too, eh? Like jutting out in front of our base like this. But we're kind of between a rock and a hard place, or really a moth in a bad place, because this freaking Mothman, it flies right next to our existing train station, So we couldn't build this one next to it. And then we had to build this one further down because the moth flies right up there. So yeah, the reason why this train station's here is just to dodge our moth buddy. But I guess it all works out, and at the end of the day, it gives us a cool new view of our base, so it's all good. Oh, and one last new thing. I know so many things happen during the live streams. They're just so productive, but there's a new way to do trains. Like every episode nowadays, right? But this time, I think we settled on what is probably the best method. So how the trains work now is the stop at the end here is facing this way. The stop over here just faces in this direction. And same with train 2 over here. It's just facing in the east direction. Then the train has 2 locomotives on each side. And yeah, it goes from here, stops at train 1, and then goes to train 2, and then heads back without any loops. So that's how our other system was working in like the last episode. I looped the track back into itself, so essentially it was all one giant loop. However, you can build the tracks in this way if you just double up the timetable. So you have stop 1 twice, stop 2 twice, and stop 3 twice. I don't know why it works, but it does just work. The train will stop at our base, stop at train 1, stop at train 2, then come all the way back to our base, and then repeat. So it's a really weird system that might break, but it works for now, so we'll leave it for now. So where does that leave us then? Well, we need plastic for supercomputers. We found the oil for the plastic way over here. So now we just need to actually bring it back to base and process it, then hook it up to this bad boy, and kablam. GGEZ. Or so you would think anyway, because we still have quite a bit to do. So our new track kind of diverges right over here by the 2 pure quartz nodes and heads off in this direction. So it tries to thread through these cliffs here, but there's some stinky plants that I have to get rid of first. And then we have like a billion oil nodes we need to hook all together into one train station. So yeah, still quite a bit to do here. Quite a bit to do. Not to mention processing, but we won't talk about that right now, will we? No, no, no. Instead, we are going to build through the stinky zone, because I've managed to angle this track directly through this small crevice, which again is a little stinky, but we can handle it. And then we need to figure out where to go after we're past the cliffs. We can kind of go anywhere, but where would be the best place to go? Probably through here, just a straight line. Might be the best idea, because we won't be able to use trucks either for this, because, you know, there's kind of water everywhere. And considering how rascally the trucks are on land, whoa, imagine how bad it'll be when they're in the water. Exactly, don't even want to think about it. So yeah, we're gonna have to belt everything to one centralized location, and it really does look like this little spot would be best. And where is that little spot, actually? Just past the cliffs there? Looks like it. All right, well, let's build then. Well, it's been a little bit, and I've built a little bit. So after the stick of plants, we are going right on down, taking a hard 90-degree turn right into our new train platform, which is right where I said it would be, right in the middle of the bay here. So it's kind of like a floating oil platform? Or like, no, it quite literally is just a train platform on a platform. Yeah, because I just built like 4 huge stilts for it over the water. And then underneath, of course, is where all the oil is going to gather up. And now, of course, the last job here to go and actually gather up all of the oil. So to keep things looking nice and fresh, we're gonna have to be a little creative with things, because if we build on the ground, it's actually underwater. And that doesn't look too good. To have all these oil barrels just swimming towards us. You know, actually, now that I say it out loud, it might look kind of cool. But no, the actual plan is just to build little platforms out to all of the oil things, and then we'll put belts on top of them. So at the end of the day, the entire ocean area around here is gonna kind of look like this. We have the pumps going, grooving, and just to have a bunch of lines going out through all the water. And it shouldn't be too bad to set up. So it was a very simple job, but man oh man are these things time consuming. However, we do have our 3,450 oil per minute loading into the train station upstairs here, which is good, but what is not good is the load balancing, because I have a variety of different lines. Like I merged some up to the maximum, like we have a 450 here, and a 600 here, and a 600 over there, and a 300, and all of these different denominations, which need to be balanced out. And I'd rather do it here since we kind of have all this space, and back at base it's kind of like, not really. So, what to do? 3,450 does not divide into anything nice. Like we have a 780 belt, we have the 480, etc, etc, etc. So what are we gonna do here? Well, I can tell you first off, we're gonna get rid of everything you see here, because this is my vain attempt to try and load things properly, which has not worked out well. Then we're gonna throw away all of our excess oil, so Americans, look away, this might be disturbing. And now we're gonna work with what we got. And what we got are Mark V belts here. These bad boys can carry 780 items per minute, and we are working with 3,450 oil. So what's the best way to go about this? Well, 780 times 4 is 3,120. Okay. So we could get everything almost onto 4 belts. What's left over? 330 oil. So how we can load balance everything is we can get the majority of things into the 4 780 belts, and then we have to find a way to siphon off 330 oil from somewhere. And lucky for Mr. Kibitz here, but this oil line has 450. So you know what we can do? Look at this. Look at this, we can try and build a smart splitter and freak out because that's not actually what we want to build. No, we can build a splitter though. And then we can have a 120 line splitting off of it. So this will join with the other, yeah, like every other belt essentially. And then, since we'll be taking 120 off a 450 belt, the rest should be 330. Now, there is some weird stuff with splitters making this not the case, because this belt takes things faster than this belt, yada yada, but generally speaking, it should work out just fine. Okay, well, I say this, but now we have to combine all of these other lines together somehow. But you know what? With enough bins and mergers, I think anything is possible here. Because the 2 smaller lines we can always merge, and then when lines get too big, we put them in a bin and split them up from there. Well, you know what? Shockingly, this was probably the easiest bit of load balancing I've ever done. Because I didn't really have to do any math. It's just a logic puzzle, really. Since we have like, I don't know, 900 oil per minute coming from here, well, I have one 780 line going off, going right to one of the freight cars, and there we go. 780 oil per minute in that freight car. Done. Do the same with this other bin as well. 1,200 oil coming in, 780 line going out to a freight car, and done again. Then over here, we have a 600 line plus 120. That equals 720. One splitter over here with a 60 line merging with that, 780 right there. That's one more freight car done. And then the rest just has to equal 780, because 3,120 divided by 4 is 780. So I just merged everything that remained into one more freight car, and that's done there. And how I did that with the bins, by the way, is I just took from the top slot of both of them. Since the bottom is just taking 780, the rest should be what remains. which again, combined with everything else, should be the 780. So with just a little bit of math and a lot of logic, this train's ready to go. But maybe with just a little bit more math and logic, I would have realized that all of the oil we're collecting is only gonna take 5 freight cars. Only 5. And our existing train, just over there, has 9 empty freight cars. So, yeah, maybe you could argue that this entire project was actually pointless. But you might actually be right. Oh, but wait, no, it did have a reason. This was definitely not a waste of time. You see, now we have more trains in our world. And that's always better. So yeah, we needed this. Smile. We also need to name this thing. What are we gonna call this train stop? Oil platform? You know, honestly, that's not half bad. You know, in fact, it's actually pretty good. So there we go. This is now the oil platform. Cool. We have more than doubled our oil extraction. And now we're never gonna need oil again. Well, hopefully not, because I honestly don't know how much oil is left on the map. It's kind of gotten to that point. But now at the end of the day, what do we call our new oil train? I think it's pretty obvious, honestly. It shall be called the Freedom Express. And there we go. And our Freedom Express will go from Big Ostapo 1 to the oil platform. And we're done. Peace out, brother. Oh, and I guess we have to rename the station too, because now the station over there is Big Ostapo 1. And I guess this will just be Murica Station. Seems pretty good, right? Yeah, why not? Murica Station. Getting all the oil, spreading the freedom train across the world. Yeah, I think that will do. So now we have all the oil we'll ever need back at base, and definitely enough to feed our HSC Titan here. Except there's one final kind of problem. And that is that we're bringing in 3,450 oil. And our refineries can only handle 30 at a time, either processing plastic, rubber, or fuel. So 3,450 divided by 30 equals 115. And I think in our entire world right now, we have something around 60 or so? So we're almost doubling the amount of refineries in our entire world. So just to give you a sense of scale, that'll be about 3 times what this is here. Because we have about 40 here, we need to make 115. So yeah, 3 more floors of this. Oh, and I really don't feel like doing that today. Instead, we're gonna be building 26 refineries, all for plastic, because 780 divided by 30 equals 26. So we can build 26 refineries just for one of the oil cars. So still pretty insane, but definitely manageable. And we're gonna be building them horizontally going upwards over here, above our existing refineries, kind of to give some character to this wall that's gonna be here. So it's not just a huge flat surface, and it kind of fills the gap between A and B. It should look pretty good. All right, well, the platform's done, and I have 13 of the 26 refineries in, and ooh, okay, I don't know if we're gonna be able to stack 115 up this way. The platforms are huge, especially for load balancing, and also, you know, maybe we don't want to stack them all here, because they look really cool, and they have the smokestack, right? So maybe I could just bring like the 780 lines of oil just around the base to places that are kind of lacking detail. And then from there, I can use the refineries as decorations, essentially. Because yeah, looking at them from over here, like right next to our hub, you know, I don't even want to put a wall in front of that. It just looks great, right? Also, if we had walls in front of everything, it all kind of looked like this, except red. And this is cool, don't get me wrong, but like, you know, a little bit of spice would be nice. Oh, and by the way, this is the Alclad sheet area. I just covered it in some walls, and I added on an extra layer of assemblers during a stream, so we don't have any of the power shards in there, but it doesn't really matter. Just looks good now. And you know, I think this will look good too. So moving forward, I'll keep places in mind for where to build these refinery areas. And as we need more oil-based products, we'll pick a spot and we'll build one of these there. For now though, this layer is done. And now with these 26 refineries, we can make 585 plastic per, whoa! Plastic per whoa. That's a unit of measurement, didn't you know? Plastic per minute. All we have to do is hook it up. And off to the races it goes. We're doing the overflow load balance hybrid method, where the first machine in these rows of 13 is an overflow, which should overflow extremely quickly because there's like 780 oil coming in here. And then the rest gets split up evenly between the 12. It should all work out. We're actually gonna be overproducing plastic too for our high-speed connector machine upstairs. So even if it isn't perfect, it should still be fine. But as you can see, the first machines are already fully loaded and everything's working as intended. I have to say though, these like Mark V belts are so scary, it's like kind of jarring. It should really have like an epilepsy warning or something like that. Well, I guess it might be a little too late for that though. But cool, we are getting all of the plastic. And also, now that this is done, I think this is the last kind of like infrastructure project day we're gonna have for a long time. Because now that we have the quartz at base, we have all the oil we need at base, we can pretty much just build our way to supercomputers now. We got everything we need. We just gotta put the pieces together. And also, we kind of need to figure out how to bring everything all the way to the top floor, because we really need an organized method, because the lower floors here, or the lower area I guess, is kinda getting full. However though, we'll figure all that out next time. And we should definitely be able to get this bad boy up and running as well. So look forward to that. Anyway though, I hope you enjoyed and thank you for watching, and have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye bye.